All right, YouTube. This is my Hangar 9 p-51 60cc. I've been working on it for about 3 weeks in the house, and I just wanted to do this video to show or tell a few things about this plane. All right, it's well, the center section, I built a whole center section of the wing. It's the part that fits underneath the plane there and houses the landing gear. I built the whole thing, and then when I went to slide the wing on, the tabs, and those tabs are little tabs like this. The center section will have 2 tabs on each side. When I went to slide the wing on, one of the tabs was bent upward and the wing wouldn't go on it. So the only way to fix that is tear the whole, top of the wing apart. You couldn't do the bottom because you still couldn't get to the tabs. So you had to cut a hole in the top of the center section and knock that tab out or dig that tab out and reposition the tag. Well, when I cut into the top of the center section, I found that it wasn't even glued in. It was just like someone must have kicked it upward, knocked it upward, and it dried like that. So I got it out, and I haven't put it in yet. But here's the tab. So I need to put it back in. I had to take that top piece of wood off and make a new piece. So that was my first problem. And the second problem was when I went to put my elevators, second problem was when I went to put my servo inside the elevator, the hole wasn't big enough. The third problem was when I made the hole bigger, behind that first piece of wood, they didn't put enough of a second piece of wood for the servo screws to support. So I had to trickily add a piece of wood back there, which it wasn't easy. So then the third problem was when I went to put the elevators on, I found that hole was not drilled correctly. It was drilled correctly, but when they slid this tab in, they didn't slide it in correctly. So therefore it made the holes, they go right to the screw there. You put a screw in right there. That made the holes not line up with the elevator. So I had to fill them holes and re-drill them so they would accept it. All right. I've had so many problems with this plane that, those type of stuff, like right here, this horn for the rudder, they cut the hole out in the rudder too big. So, I had to fix that. I mean, major stuff like that. Here's another thing. This cable is so damn stiff. Look how stiff that cable is. They wanted you to I have to turn this plane over to show you. right in there on that. I don't have all the screws in that wheel yet, but that little bitty ball, they wanted you to wrap this around that little bitty dinky ass ball. And if you can see how stiff that is, there is no way that you're going to actually get that around that little ball for it to stay. So I ended up, if you can see right there, I ended up using a pull wire that was smaller. And I'm tempted to change these. That's why I haven't crimped this yet. But I was tempted to use that smaller wire on here, and I still may. So, that's another problem. And up here at the rudder servo, you can see that that cable would have been a nightmare to, you could not wind it like this here. You 3 times in that crimp. You could only do it 2, like you can see there. Those wires are a nightmare. But this is as far as I got. I just, I'm just putting things together, building this, these indentations for these pipes. You have to cut out them holes like that in the wood, or the wood won't go down. And you can see right here that this plastic, they cut it too short. It's not, it should be a little bit longer this way, have more of a meat to it so that it hides the wood. I had to cut, relieve those those things there, those nipples. Oh. And the first time, this is my own wood, because the other wood I glued on. And then when I went to put it on, let me turn this plane back around. When I went to put this on, the nose of the plane goes inward. And when you glue that piece of wood on there, it gets real stiff. And you'll have a gap up here at the front, and it won't bend. It's because you CA the wood to the plastic here, but then when you glue it to the plane, you have to tape it down. And if it's real stiff, there's no way in hell the tape is going to hold that down. So that's a problem. And this little lip right here for this hood, they don't give you very much space. So I went ahead, I'm gonna glue this board or this balsa to that to give me just a little bit more room there. And so I haven't put the hood on. I'm waiting for the pilot. I got a pilot today, and you have to sand all that, so that you can glue everything together. I got a Warbird pilot today, paid about $130 for it. And he was just way too large for there. It's 15-inch, that's what they say that goes for this plane, but his head was up so high, the canopy wouldn't fit on the plane. 15 inches, not for this plane. So I'm sending it back, and I'm gonna exchange it for a 12-inch because and that's why I don't have the seat or anything in it, because I'm waiting on the pilot to get this right height. They tell you in the manual 5 inches, 5 inches. This would be way up here. There's no way it would even fit. So I'm waiting on that, and everything else is coming along. But I know there's more problems. I just haven't, can't think of them right now. The cowl right here, you'll have to sand the back of it because it's a little bit too long. It's not that hard, but you just sand the back of it. I just got my hose temporary. I'm not even ready for that yet. But it's taken me a long time to get this far. So I do not recommend this airplane. They quit making the plane. They quit making it, and they don't have any parts for it either. So if I had it over to do and I knew what I know now, I would have just bought a Black Horse Zero or one of the Black Horses. Texas RC sells some pretty good planes too, but when I ordered this plane from Horizon, I read just before, right after I ordered it from Horizon, I read many things about how people were having problems with it. And then I immediately, the very next day, called them, and they would not stop the shipment. So when it got here, it was such a big box, I couldn't afford to just spend that much money to send it back. So then I kept it for a year. I bought it last year, and then I kept it for a year. And then just recently, I found out that they discontinued this plane. So I got my plane down, and I said, well, let me start looking, making sure, darn sure, that I got all the parts. And I went through starting to build the plane this winter right now, and I'm in the house with it, trying to do what I can without making a mess. And by the way, I'm allergic to this CA glue. When I glue, it just clogs my nostril, my sinuses up terrible. And it's about the only thing that I'm ever been allergic to, but that really makes you sick. Even if I got a mask on, it gets me. So, so I just wanted to. Oh, another thing. When you set that center section on here, you'll have a small gap along this edge right here. That center section does not go up against that like it should. I'll probably end up adding a piece of wood to that all the way down through there to get it to fit right. Sand it and get it to fit right. And this interior is a nightmare to glue in, because it tells you to use rubberized CA. That's that black rubberized CA. And don't even try to use regular CA because it doesn't work very good. And so I got the can. Let's see here. all of this fits right. This fits pretty good on here. Well, it didn't when I first got it though. So see, this slides back pretty good now, but it sure didn't when I first got it. It's still a little stiff, but I've tried everything that I can. It gets stiff right in there, just a little bit. But I've tried everything I can to loosen that stiffness up, and it is really hard. They only give you these little tabs to work with right here, these little dinky, and I've sanded on them every which way I can to get it to smooth out, but you don't have much to work with, so you don't want to over sand them. So that's that on that. I got this room a mess working on this plane because I'm building. You know, I'm going a little here, a little there, and it's coming together. But I could put these elevators on. Here's another thing about this elevator. This tube right here will slide into the elevator, and then you will have to drill that hole on one side and tap it. Then line up the other side and slide the elevator on, and then mark where that hole is. Then take it all apart and tap that. They don't give you very much metal on that to tap, and the screw is so little, it's like a 3 millimeter. So I don't expect that those threads to hold, but this is what they give you, so this is what you're going to have to use. I even thought, the book says, do not screw all the way through that pipe. Let's see, that hole is, and that hole was, I drilled one right and tapped it, and then when I drilled the other one, I drilled it too big, I forgot. I went to mark the pipe with a larger drill bit, and took it apart, ended up drilling that with the larger drill bit and screwed it up. So I just turned it around and re-drilled 2 more holes. But what I would actually like to do is go all the way through that. And I see why I can't do that now. Oh yeah, I can. I was thinking about going all the way through and tapping both sides and run the bolt all the way through, because when you screw the screw down in here, they give you a washer to go in that, but that's a really, really small hole. And there's no way you're going to get that big washer down in there. And then when they send it to you, you can't even get a screw or anything. You can't see even down in there because they screw the hole up. They don't really do a good job. And I drilled that hole out larger because you had to. And what I'm going to have to do is I bought a 12 millimeter bolt. It's 3 by 12 millimeter I bought, and I'm just going to use the washer on the outside and do the best I can. If you screw the screw all the way down in there, it has nothing to hold. It should have been a spot on there where the screw would stop, but there just wasn't. And not only that, on the elevator here, they had this horn, the hole, crooked as hell. When you put the horn in, it was way crooked. So they didn't put the elevator together correctly. So I had to dig out that slot and reposition the horn so it's straight up and down on this one. And I added a little bit of birch, real thin. It's like a 32nd piece of birch to the side there to take up the space. Now I got that one straight, but I had already glued this one, and I did not realize that they had this one crooked too. And you can see right there, I had already glued that and didn't realize they had that. But the other one was more crooked than this one. They just don't know what they're doing. They don't care. They really don't care what they're doing over there in Vietnam. So problems like that all over this plane. And I'm not even done. So it's just going to be probably more and more. So I just wanted to give a little review. I'll be back when I do a little bit better or get done further. So like and subscribe. And I work on all kinds of different things. I bought it's probably about a 15 or 16-year-old Hangar 9 when they used to make good planes. I bought a Hangar 9 p-47 60. It's the silver one with the black and white stripes, checkered cow. And I got it used off a guy, and it's in really bad shape. But I'm gonna be fixing that and putting a DLE 20 on it. It had a OS 91 4-stroke, but it was froze up. I took it all apart, and the bearings were froze up. So I ordered some new bearings for it, got it all torn apart. It's down here. There's the crank and the piston. And over here is the rest of the parts for it. So I'm waiting on the bearings to put it back together. So, we'll be seeing that one. I gave the man $200 for that plane, but it was just falling apart, and I always wanted that. I had the DLE, and I wanted to get a pits for it, but couldn't really find one, so I just saw that one and grabbed it. And so, okay, YouTubers, this is my P-51. This would be this one is going to have a DA60 on it. And I was going to use the high-tech servos, 7955s, but they raised them $40 more each, 140. I thought 100 used to be a lot of money for the 7955s. I used to buy them all the time, but at 140, I just went with a different servo. So on the rudder, no, not the rudder, on the landing gear doors and the throttle here, I bought the 645s. Let's see here. Oh, it's up. It's the D645 MWs. I'm going to try to use 7.4 batteries in this plane. I normally use 6-volt batteries. That's how they used to. The 6-volt battery used to be what everyone used. But a lot of people don't sell the 6-volt batteries anymore. So you're going to try to go with a higher voltage on this plane. All right, YouTube.